I'm going. All right, so welcome to tonight's session of how to become the go-to ed consultant in 2023. So I know that some of you all are planning to make some moves and to do some things, create businesses, take on some extra income for 2023. And so I'm going to share with you how to become the go-to ed consultant in 2023. Now, keep in mind that I am on here by myself tonight. So if there is something, I'm going to try to get all of the links in the chat. And when I'm on screen, I cannot see you. So if you need something, just put a note in the chat and I'll get to it. I'm not always right on the chat. So I want to point that out. Make sure I go over who this is for real quick. This is for, especially if you are a current educational consultant, if you are a consultant currently working in schools, currently bringing in contracts, this will be amazing for you. And also, if you're looking to leave the school system, there are some things that you can do while you're still in the school system this year to position yourself for your exit in 2023, 2024. If you're pursuing more contracts, this session will definitely help you. And if you're looking for more leads, when you are the go-to ed consultant, you don't have to look for leads. They will come to you because they will know that you have what they need. If you are making less than $10,000 a month as a consultant, I gotta say you have a gap in your system. You're doing something wrong, and you need to reevaluate what's happening, because 10 grand a month should be the floor. There is likely something wrong in your packaging, or quite frankly, it might just be your pricing. But if you're making less than 10K a month, this is the session for you. Or if you just need a greater understanding of consultant, you will also get much support in that tonight. A couple of common misconceptions about being the go-to consultant. Here's a couple of misconceptions that we have. Some people think that you need to be famous, that means that you're famous because people are looking for you. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. You don't need to be famous. That is a limiting belief that some folks have. And I have no desire whatsoever to be famous. And I have people looking for me continually. So I want you to know you do not have to be famous. Also, let me move my thing over one second. Also, you don't have to have a lot of followers. I don't want us to set ourselves up to think that you need to have 40, 50, 60,000 followers, 100,000 followers on social media. It is not true. All you need are the people who are looking for you, because a lot of followers does not mean a lot of income. You don't need to know a whole lot of people. I am not that person who's out here in these streets that knows everybody and who everybody knows me. That is not my situation. And that's why I'm here telling you, because I know that there's likely somebody who's joining us tonight who might be thinking that they need to be, some type of person who knows a lot of people or who's in all of the circles. And it's just not true. You don't have to have a lot of money to be the sought after ed consultant, or in whatever industry you're in. You don't have to subscribe to that fronting and flossing, putting new cars and stuff online on your Instagram reel. You don't have to do those things. You also don't have to know a lot of leaders. I didn't know a lot of principals. I didn't know a lot of superintendents. I didn't know a lot of people in other school systems, because where I live, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. We have smaller districts. In the district I was in was smaller. We have one high school, one middle school, and 4 elementaries and an early childhood center. That's it. Now we have some bigger districts, but once you're in a district, you kind of stay secluded to that district. You're not all over in other districts. So I didn't know a whole lot of leaders, and you don't have to be well connected. I am 100% an introvert. I'm in my zone of genius right now and doing the work that I do. And so I shine. When I'm not in my zone of genius, I'm a 100% introvert. So for all of the introverts who are on here, just know there is hope for you. I am not an introvert, extrovert. There is no extroversion about me. And it's not the belief that an introvert is shy or any of that. That's not what introversion is about. It's about energy, where we get our energy from, how we recharge, and how we think. And so I am 100% an introvert. So if we have any introverts on here who are concerned about will they, be able to do this, don't believe the hype. As long as you can work in your zone of genius and show up in your zone of genius, you'll be okay. Tonight, we're going to, and I've already dropped the link for the workbook in the chat. So if you haven't checked the chat, go ahead and check the chat, click the link and pull up the workbook. And I'll try to drop it for those who come in a little late into the session. I'm going to teach you 3 things tonight. And I'm going to share with you how I was able to become a sought after consultant by just using these 3 strategies. And I'm going to tell you the strategy. I'm going to explain it to you. You need to take notes. I'm not giving you half of the story and not giving you the other half, because I truly believe in abundance. I believe that all of the contracts that I have are for me, and you can have all the contracts you want, and it will not impact the number of contracts that I bring in. So I will be sharing with you how to stand out from the crowd, the real stuff. I'm not going to come to you with this superficial. I'm telling you, I'm going to give you the real stuff. The second thing I'm going to share with you is how to leverage and use leverage to spread your greatness. And then number 3, the key to being memorable. So I'm going to share those things with you tonight so that you can get out here and do the thing that you love to do, get your bag, and have your time freedom and your financial freedom. I do want you to know that it takes strategy. It's not a quick fix. I know a lot of people ask me, how did you make it so quickly? How did you increase your income so quickly? How are people looking for you? And I will tell you, like I tell everybody else, folks, hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. Praying is only a portion of a strategy. So there are some people out here hoping and praying and not doing any work. You got to do the work. You got to do the things you need to do. You got to take action. You got to make a decision, and you got to be willing to move forward. So there are folks who know a lot of people. Those referrals are going to run out. At some point, those referrals are going to run out, and you need to have done the things that you need to do so that your clients are looking for you and you're not out here trying to chase down leads. This session will not be 30 minutes. Let me tell you, this is not microwave land. You're not going to get a 60-second result here. And most of those things are not sustainable anyway. And then anything of significance requires patience. So this session, I estimated to be right at 90 minutes, and that's with the Q&A at the end. I'm going to provide solutions for you. I don't play in the playground of pipe dreams. I like to set goals. I like to have dreams, turn those dreams into goals, and then crush those goals. And so that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. I'm going to give you strategies that you can implement now to position yourself. So I do want you to know it takes some delayed gratification, but it does not take 2-3 years or any of that foolishness. And most of the time, it doesn't even take a year. A couple of months of concentrated focus, and you will see a dramatic shift in who's looking for you and how things are working out for you. So for those who may be new to me, you may not know me, you may have just seen my lead magnet, you may have just been on my email list, or maybe you saw a post floating around or it was shared, because a lot of my stuff gets shared. I'm Dr. Chanel DeBose, and I'm just going to give you the quick intro. I was in the school system for 17 years. I've worked multiple positions, done many things, very good at my job, and just didn't want to spend my time like that anymore, because I have 3 kids at home. I have a husband at home. I had a mom who was working, who was missing me. Oh, I'm sorry, there is no replay. This is the second session. That's why I do them live. I do 2 sessions because I'm not doing a replay because the file is too big to send out. This is the second live version that I've done. So I was in the school system, and I decided I wanted to leave. I was a principal. I was already making 6 figures. And I also knew that I was paying consultants to come in to do professional development. And half of the time, the PD wasn't even good. I would end up having to reteach the professional development myself. So I decided to create my own ed consulting business. I created my business in 2017. It took off in 2018, which is the year that I resigned, which is why I'm here telling you and sharing with you that you, like if you're still in the school system, do the work before you leave, because that's exactly what I did. I didn't wait to leave and then do the work. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. I do want to give a disclaimer real quick, because I like for people to know who I am and how I show up. I want you to know that I'm not a politician and I'm not looking to be politically correct. If you are easily offended, this is likely not the session for you, because I'm not that person who's going to bite my tongue or not say something thinking that your feelings are going to be hurt. If you can't listen to my story and hear what it is that I'm sharing about how I went through and giving suggestions for what you might need to do, then this probably isn't the live for you, the session for you, because what I can tell you is that two truths can exist at the same time. The thing that you'll find about me is that I'm not that judgmental person. If you have your experience, I will honor your experience, and I have my own experience and I expect you to honor it. But even if you don't, I'm still moving on unoffended by it. So two truths can exist at the same time. I want y'all to know y'all can be good at your job and not want to go there. You can be an excellent educator and no longer want to teach in the school system. Two truths can exist at the same time. So as we're moving forward, I'm going to share my truth with you. I am going to share what has worked for me, and then you can take it and do what you wish with it to make it work for you. But everything that I'm giving you have been things that have helped to make me sought after and have a multi-six-figure business headed into a seven-figure business next year. And I'm talking about in 1 year. So over my time, I've well exceeded the $1 million mark. But next year, I will clearly be 7 figures in 1 year. And so I'm going to share with you some of the strategies that I use, or what happened to allow me to be sought after, why I go to my email and there are requests for me, why I'm getting text messages, why people are calling me and connecting me to other people. So, and make sure you have your workbook. I'll try to go back in and add it into the chat as well. So how to stand out from the crowd. So first of all, I want to ask you, who do you know that is highly sought after, whether they are someone that you know personally or someone that is, a public figure? Who do you know that is sought after? Add it into the chat for me. Let's get a little interaction here. Who do you know that is sought after? Think about the people who you know, where people are looking for them. They are being requested. They are getting calls to come and do some things. Who do you know that is sought after? Put it in the chat. Share with me who you know that's sought after. And if you don't know anyone in your personal life, think about public. Think about the public people. Yeah, right. She said Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez. So who else? Who do you know that is sought after? So we got Selena Gomez. Who else? And why are they sought after? Why do people go looking for them? What is the reason that people are looking for them? Taylor Swift, absolutely. We know she just had a whole thing where they couldn't get tickets to her concert. And baby, they turned around and now they suing the ticket master. Okay. So that Taylor is sought after. Ayanna Van Zant. If you can get Ayanna Van Zant on the stage, you are somebody, because she only shows up for the people that really can dig deep into their purses. Okay. Michelle Obama. Come on, Adriana. All right now, Michelle Obama. Child, you're going to need $1 million to get her on your stage. She's sought after. She can pick and choose the jobs that she wants. She can demand a very high price tag. And everybody knows that when she shows up, she's going to crush it. She's going to kill it. We all know that. Anybody else? Think about it. Why are they sought after? What is it that makes them sought after? What is it? Why are they sought after? What's the reason? Do you all know? Think about that for a minute. Why did Taylor Swift's tickets go on sale and they sold out like super fast and nobody could even get a ticket? and it uncovered a scandal with Ticketmaster. Why are people throwing money at her to come and see her? Why is it that we will drop what we are doing to go see Ayanna or Michelle? Why? What is it that makes them sought after? Any ideas about what makes them sought after? Why is Selena Gomez a go-to? She's done music, she's done acting, she's done all types of stuff. Why is she the go-to? Stephanie says they're the best of the best. And how did they get that way though? How did they get that way? They have to have a huge fan base. People are able to relate to them. Okay. Because they add value in their lane. Right. They are good at what they do. So I want you to think about this. Think about the people who you put down as being sought after. Think about the examples that have been given in the chat. You got Michelle, you got Ayanna, you got Taylor, you got Selena. We know some other people. We probably just can't think of them right now. Think about what is the stand that they took? What is the thing that they stand on? What is the position that they have taken? Think about that. See, because in order for you to stand out from the crowd, you got to take a stand. You got to take a stand on a position, on an issue, on a belief, on a thing that you're willing to go down for. You're willing to stay on the boat as it's sinking. You're going to go down for it. You're going down with it because you believe it that much. These folks took a stand. They took a stand, but they didn't just take a stand. They did the work too. But we got to think about, did they do the work before or after they took the stand? See, you got to show that you're an expert. You got to show that you're the expert. And when you are the expert, you got to take a stand because you believe in something that is so big, that is so real, that it means so much to you. You are willing to do something about it. And the reason why people can relate to them is because they took a stand on something. Michelle has taken a stand on several things. One of them was school lunches for kids. Another one is Black women having to do everything. She's taken a stand on a lot of things, but all of them come back to her social beliefs about life and womanhood and being a Black woman in America. When you think about Taylor Swift is always in the news for taking a stand on something, but they don't just take a stand, they become an expert in the thing that they're doing. They go out and they learn about it. These are things that impact them. And so you gotta take that stand in the thing that you're an expert in. When I decided to come and do this portion right here, helping educators to leave the classroom to create successful and sustainable six-figure businesses, I took a stand. I said, wait a minute, every educator needs to be paid at least $100,000. It don't make no sense that these educators are in the school system working hard, showing up, doing all the things and not making enough money. I know too many educators who are working part-time jobs, who are trying to work these after-school contracts. It's crazy. And I was a building principal. And I was the principal telling them, no, 2 jobs are for 2 people. Stop. What do we need to do to stop you from doing this? And I was passionate about this. Like, I really meant we should not be one of the most highly educated careers in the world and working 2 and 3 jobs. And when I fixed the problem for myself, I came back to get my people. I took a stand. And I put all of my energy into doing this after I figured my thing out. But I had to take a stand for some things. I said, when I left the school system, it's a shame that only certain schools get great professional development. It's a shame that if you just had the right people to come in and train the teachers, you would see dramatic changes in what's happening in school systems. But because we keep doing the same thing the same way, paying people to come in to do crazy stuff, paying people to come in that ain't never worked in the school system, paying people to come in that don't even know what it's like to do what the thing that they're telling us to do with real kids sitting in desks who are not robots, who do things that's not in the manual that they gave us. This don't make no sense. We need people who understand this world to come in and train other people. And so I created a professional development company. I created a consulting firm so that I could then be a part of the change. You see, I took a stand. And then I showed that I was the expert. I put my flag in the ground and I said, I'm good at this. My thing is leadership coaching. I said, I got this. I've done so much in the school system and in my building. I took a building from the bottom 5% in the state of Missouri up to the 55th percentile in the state of Missouri within 3 years. I got this. I know how to do this. I know how to support leaders. They need good professional development. Fortunately for me, I had a superintendent who believed that you should be able to develop the way you wanted to. So she literally wrote us a blank check to be able to go out and get any training you wanted to. So I have been able to be trained by the best of the best. But I had to take a stand and I have to be willing to show that I'm the expert. The question for you is, are you willing to say that you're an expert and to show it as well? Are you willing to say and show that you're an expert? How do you know you're an expert? Some of us are sitting back waiting on people to come and tell us we're the expert. Some of us waiting on somebody to tap you on the shoulder to say you're the expert. Sis, you've been in the school system for 20 years. You've been doing the same job for 20, 25 years. It don't take 20 years to be an expert. You're an expert. Tell yourself now, pat yourself on the back. You're the expert. You also have to know yourself and be confident. You got to be confident. See, when you're taking a stand and you are saying that you're the expert, you got to exude confidence. So how do you stand out from the crowd? You take a stand. You say what your position is, and you be willing to go down with it. You can't waver on it. And then you got to exude confidence. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I know what I know. And whatever I don't know, I'll figure it out later. Or I'll find somebody else to do it. And then you have to have a clear message and understand your value. Like you must have clarity around your messaging. There is no misinterpretation when I tell, when people ask me, I think every educator should make at minimum $100,000 a year. And if the school system won't pay them, I'm gonna show them how they can make it. Plain and serious, plain and simple, point blank, no other suggestion. I'm willing to go down with that ship. Their educators can make 6 figures easily without hesitation if they're willing to do the work and let go of some of the mindset beliefs that we have that the system helped to put into our head. When I'm leadership coaching, you can have clarity, confidence, and control, all while being your authentic self. You don't have to show up as anybody else. You can lead being the person that you are. And I go in these school systems and I stand out because guess what? When they're looking for me, they say, we want that lady, you know, that one she's very candid. She's very clear in her communication and she's concise. She understands the life of a principal and she doesn't take up all of our time. They're looking for me. They're sending my number over to other people. They are referring me out because guess what? When I go in, I let them know I'm here to solve your problem. What's the problem? They tell me the problem. Okay, here are 3, 4 things that need to be implemented ASAP. I'm not asking them what they need to do. I'm a consultant. I come to solve your problem, not to coach you. There's a difference between coaching and consulting. And you have to know when you're doing either or combining both. So you have to be clear in your message and your value. A lot of times we don't understand our value. When I'm going into a school system, and the superintendent has called me in to work with new leaders, I'm letting them know, hey, the superintendent is here to give you support. I'm your support. I'm that support. I'm going to help you to have a fabulous year. I'm going to help you to have peace at home with your family. I'm going to help you to be in a blissful marriage. I'm going to help you to be able to connect with your teachers. I'm going to help you to be able to come to school and not take school home with you. You see how I can clearly communicate my value, and it's not about a dollar sign. It's about the peace that I'm going to provide and the solutions that they're going to get to make their days easier. So do you know what your clear message and value is? Do you know what your clear message and value is? So I'm gonna ask you, what are you willing to take a stand on? What is the stand that you are taking? Come on, y'all, tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. I see we got a few more people who joined us. I just added the link to the workbook into the chat. Tell me what you're willing to take a stand on. And then let me be clear about this thing right here. Let me be clear about this thing right here. You know, like we like to say that we're taking a stand for the kids at the school, but what's the story behind that? What's the story behind that? See, the reason why I took a stand for leaders and to do leadership coaching is because I was a leader, and I'm a Black female, as you can see, and I went into a school building to lead the building. Well, guess what? It's a little different as a Black woman leading the building than it is for the other folks. It's different if you're a Black man. It's different if you're a white man. It's different if you're a white woman. I'm not discounting their experiences at all. All I'm telling you is I had some particular barriers that I had to overcome. And then in addition to that, you know, there are all types of biases that exist. And so I had to overcome a whole lot of barriers, and I felt like I didn't have any support. I felt like people didn't understand me, because when I would say that these things are happening to me, it was like, oh, you'll get over it. And my thought was, why do I need to get over it? And why can't we just change the system? Why can't we just help solve the problem that's existing? And so that became the stand that I took, that no, I'm not going to get over it. We're going to communicate about this. We're going to have a conversation as to why these things are happening and why you feel it's okay for you to say and do the things that you do. And what is it that I might be saying or doing that is creating this problem? And so I took a stand to say, no, this is not the way leadership is going to go. I believe in shared leadership. And I believe that if we build the fence together, all of us are out here building the fence. We're putting planks up, each one of us, we're getting our hands dirty. It is much harder to tear the fence down. So I took a stand around shared leadership. And I shared the idea of shared leadership to my staff. And I helped them to understand what you're not, what you ain't gonna do. It said, Dr. D said, we all are going to make decisions and agree upon how our schoolhouse will go, how things will work, what the culture will be, what our rules will be, how we will engage one another. Y'all know the little things that happen. Teacher walk down the hall and don't speak to you. You said hi, she didn't say hi. You get mad, you decide you're not speaking to them no more. We're not doing that. We're going to come to the table. We're going to talk about it. We're going to take a stand. And so we took a stand. I took a stand first by saying shared leadership is the way to go. And then because I was adamant about it, I was not giving up. They got articles, they got this, they got that. Everything was around shared leadership. They got polls, we had to vote on stuff. And then they realized, oh, this probably is a good thing. And so now that's the very thing that I teach and coach and consult on, is shared leadership for leaders. So what are you taking a stand for? So Stephanie says she's taking a stand for math teachers and engineering the future of education. Do you know what you're taking a stand on? That's right. She said all behavior is communication, and our brown children need to learn from someone that looks like them versus being sent to the alternative school settings. There you go. So we have to figure out what is it that we're taking a stand on, and then we have to be clear in the message and in the value. What is the benefit? What is going to be the outcome? When you can be clear on these things, then you need to be of service. So Selena says, I'm taking a stand to balance the learning environment with healing and academics through trauma-informed practices. All right now. So see, once you like giving life to it, you got to be able to say it. You got to be able to put it out there. You got to be able to let people know. You got to exude confidence. Confidence means I'm not scared. I'm not ashamed. I'm willing to put it all on the line. So we got to be willing to say the thing. You got to lead with excellence. Like if you say this is your thing, if this is your thing, if trauma-informed practices is your thing, you can't have this as your thing and then be over here doing the opposite of the thing. Just like me, I can't sit and say I believe in shared leadership and then over here be doing some other stuff, making independent decisions and doing stuff all by myself. Just like for me in my business, this business, I believe that all educators should make 6 figures or more. What I look like having a business over here with women who are educators working in my business and I'm not paying them 6 figures or more. That's not in alignment. So I have to walk the walk and talk the talk. You got to be of service. Who are you being of service to? A lot of times we get confused and think that the service is supposed to be to ourselves. It's not. You got to be of service to the people who need your service. And you have to be prepared. You always got to be prepared. First of all, when you're in your zone of genius, you don't have to prepare as much because this is your thing. This is your unfair advantage. This is your thing that you don't need any practice around for the most part. You can come and talk to me any day about leadership and I can do all types of tricks and all types of stuff for you. You can come and talk to me any day about an ed consulting business because I've been doing it for 6 years now. And I'm gonna keep saying it. Those are thoughts of the past that it takes all these years. You know, that was in the past when you had to work 30 years and then retire. And that's when they think you're an expert. No, we already know the 10,000 hour rules, but guess what? That's when you get to 10,000 hours. You get to 10,000 hours so quickly in the school system. And what were you when you were at 8,000? So at 8,000, you don't think you're an expert? I'm just saying, you got to make your life your message. You got to make your life your message. What you do, how you show up, how you act, what you say, it's a reflection of who you are. Your character and spirit must match consistently. We're talking about how to stand out from the crowd. See, the people in the crowd, the reason why the crowd is there and you're getting stuck in the crowd is because you're doing all the things that the crowd is doing. You're following what the crowd is doing. That's why you're in the crowd. You got to make a decision. I'm not going to be a part of the crowd. I'm going to do things a little differently. I'm going to show up differently. I'm going to take a stand and I'm going to make my life match the thing that I say. I'm going to give you a couple of quick examples. The first one is when you think about being sought out. When you think about people looking for you, when you think about people coming to find you, raising their hand, saying, I'm interested. I want you to come over here. We had one in the news just the other day. Some folks was mad about it. I don't know why. Deion Sanders over here working at Jackson State. He doing his job. He's showing out. He always show out because he shows up prepared to work. But guess what? Deion Sanders took a stand when he went to Jackson State. See how that all come together? Deion Sanders took a stand. He said HBCUs should have the same ability to be on national TV, get the same notoriety, get the same press, get the same opportunities as all of these other Big Ten schools. We have some good HBCUs as well, and they get slighted. And I'm going to work for one of them. I'm going to become the coach, and I'm going to change some things. He took a stand, but he didn't just take that stand. He been had that stand. When he had his school in Texas, he was doing that. When he go to mentor at Steve Harvey's camp, he always believed these things. He's always taking his stand. You can't say prime time don't exude confidence. Anybody who say that got a serious problem because we know prime time, the one thing that he got is confidence. And he's clear in his message and his value. Then guess what? Because his message is his life, Colorado State came knocking on his door. Knock, knock, Deion. Now, ain't nobody on here gonna sit and say, these people over here paying you $500,000 a year. And for Deion, that ain't no money. He was doing this out of charity. And he gave half of it back to the school each year. And then Colorado State came and said, hey, they came for him. He didn't send for them. They came for him. And they said, we're gonna give you $5 million a year. Come on over here. Because they were looking for him, people. They were looking for him because they know that he is serious about the sport of football. They know that he knows his stuff. They know that he is dedicated to students and helping them to matriculate to the system, through the system, and bringing in good things for the community. They know that he's confident and he can handle the backlash. And he's clear on his message, but most importantly, Dion understands his value. And so he didn't step back and say, nah, I just got to stay here because I don't want folks to be mad at me. That ain't what it's about, people. He already knows this is in alignment with what I'm trying to do. I got to go from here and go here. And the more I do over here, the greater impact I can have in all. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. The next example I'm going to give you is the movie The Menu. I don't know if you've been to see The Menu. It's pretty new. The Menu, like the order menu, the food menu, is at box offices now. The movie The Menu, it's about a chef. He's a world-renowned chef, and he took a stand. He said, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to practice. I'm going to learn with the best. I'm going to work with the best. And I'm going to create food that is so tantalizing that it'll be the best meal that you've ever had. He took a stand. He worked his craft. And then once he worked his craft, he invited all of the food reviewers in to review his food at the different restaurants he would go to. And they would come and they would give raving reviews. What are your raving reviews? Testimonials, people. As you're doing this work, you got to get testimonials. So he would get these raving reviews, and the newspapers would write about his food. Whenever he would show up, the people, they would have lines out the door for people to come see him. Well, he got smart and he said, I'm going to go and buy an island. The chef got so rich, he could go and buy an island, okay? He went and bought an island, set up everything on the island. Everything is organic. Everything is fresh. That's part of the stand that he took. He uses all natural food. Everything is fresh from the sea, from the ground. He has his own cows. Everything is fresh. That's the stand that he took, that food has been done wrong through processing and all of these things, and everything should be natural, and that humans do not respect and understand the journey of food in order for us to survive. And so he created this island. He bought this island, created his own restaurant, hired his own team, trained them himself, and then he started sending invitations out for people to come and pay for a meal. Every meal was $1,250 per person. And there's only 12 couples per night. So 12 couples per night. And you can only come by invite only. Guess what? He sought after. He created demand. You got to create demand as well. But some of us are acting like the people in the menu. On the movie, The Menu, I'm finna ruin it for some of y'all. So if you was planning to see it, I'm finna ruin it for you, okay? Don't say I didn't tell you, because I'm about to spill the beans. So when they came through by ferry boat, you can only get there by ferry boat. The ferry boat drops you off, and the ferry boat comes back one time to pick everybody up. When they got there, and even on the invite, he told them, this will be the best meal that you have ever eaten, and your last meal. He told them it's gonna be your last meal. He told them, you're gonna die tonight. He even reiterated it once they got in and appetizers got served. He asked them, did you enjoy your appetizer? And you know, they standing there, they all amazed by him, and they said yes. And he said, good. He said, we have 4 more courses coming, and I want you to enjoy, because we will all die tonight. That is no different than when the school system, you went and applied for that job, they showed you that salary schedule, and you saw that it was going to take 20, 25 years for you to make $80,000, $90,000. Do the salary schedule even got $100,000 on it if you're not in one of the high income states? If you're not in Cali, if you're not in New York, if you're not in Philly, if you're not in DC, if you're not in Chicago, does your salary schedule even have $100,000? Because I know mine didn't. And I'm in Missouri. So they showed us up front. Year 1, you're going to make 38.5. Year 10, you're going to be at 51,000. Year 20, you're going to be at 72,000. And we said, oh, in 20 years, we'll only make $20,000 more than what we're making. And we signed on the dotted line. And guess what? We were happy, just like those people sitting in that restaurant. Just like those people sitting in that restaurant, even though that man told them they were going to die before the night was over because this is the last meal they're going to eat. Stephanie said, no, highest is 50K as a teacher. Oh my goodness, that is ridiculous. Like every time I see numbers like that, that makes me want to throw up. Like that's crazy. And we know this, and then we keep going and we try to make it work. We try to make it work. And it's not all about the money, but it is about the money, because how are we supposed to live? So my point in this is how to stand out from the crowd. You got to take a stand. You got to have some confidence. You got to have extreme confidence in your work. And there is a difference between confidence and arrogance. Understand that. Some people have met people who are arrogant and they think that that means they confuse that with confidence. That's not what that is. Every time I show up to a PD, to a facilitation, to a workshop, to do a speech, whatever I'm doing, I am well prepared. I know exactly what value I'm bringing. I'm clear in my messaging, and I know that I am going to give you excellent service, and I'm going to be of service to the people in the audience. That's what confidence is. It has nothing to do with the arrogance that you see in some people. So understand, this is the first step to stand out from the crowd. You cannot keep being the best kept secret, but you got to be willing to say, I'm the best at this. I'm the best at this. See, I ain't no doubt about, hands down, I'm the best at helping educators create consulting businesses. I'm the best at helping principals who are having a hard time get themselves together and turn that ship around, because they're having a problem internally with themselves, and they're also having a problem, and that's expanding out into the school. And so we got to work on you first. What are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And get clear about that around their vision, around their goals. And that's for home and school. You can't fix one without the other, because we're talking about authenticity. You got to show up at work the same way you show up at home. We're not showing up at work as Mr. Jones, the professional, and then coming home as Mr. Jones, the hip hop artist. We're going to go on and take Mr. Jones, the professional hip hop artist, and become that person. So when I say you got to be willing to be the best, to say that you're the best, to know that you're the best, you got to be willing to stand on that. You got to be confident in that, and you got to be clear about your message and your value. Number 2, you got to use leverage to spread your greatness. Again, you cannot be the best kept secret. And when you do that, you got to invite people in. Let me tell you, I'm demonstrating it right now. I invited you to a masterclass so that I can share with you my expertise. You see how I use leverage to invite you in to spread my greatness. So you got to invite people in. You got to share your expertise. Ways that you can share your expertise. You need to get on some podcasts. You looking for action steps? Here are your action steps. Get on podcasts. What you sitting back waiting on somebody to come invite you to the podcast? They're not going to invite you. You gotta make a pitch to them. Let them know, hey, on your podcast, you often talk about A. I am an expert in A, B, and C, and I'd love to share with your audience. Send them a pitch. What they're gonna do, say yes or no. What you don't know is that most podcast people are often looking for guests, and you have a talent. We got someone who does trauma-informed practices. All they have to do is find podcasts that deal with the content that they're looking for. Let them know, I listen to your podcast. I think I can be of value to your audience. I specialize in A, B, and C. I'd love to be a guest on your podcast. It doesn't cost you a thing. You can create a newsletter to send out to your people. Create a newsletter. What do you think happens? Selena says she has a podcast, Teaching Through the Eyes of Trauma. So she has a podcast. At any time Selena's on other people's podcasts, she needs to be sharing that she has a podcast too. So keep in mind, and again, I got a podcast too. Educators moving on, where we talk about things that educators need to move on from, not about consulting, but about what do we need to move on from: people pleasing, limited beliefs, playing small, toxic environments, all of these things. So you need to pitch to be on other people's podcasts. Some people need to create newsletters. You need to create newsletters and send them to your people. Circulate the newsletter. You can do blogs. Some people prefer blogs over newsletters, and you can do the blog, share them to your social media, share them with your circle. And then you can do your social media. Spread your greatness through your social media. Don't just go on there sharing pictures of your family and friends. Share information. Help others by sharing your greatness. If you know, and I'm using Selena because her thing is right here. If you know that you do trauma informed, then you should have posts that's giving them real information, not just the name of the company and a picture of me and, all this stuff. Be of service. Really be of service. Help people with some practices. 3 things to do if you are suffering childhood trauma. 4 things you should think about. So be of service on your social media. Then we have conferences. There are lots of conferences that all of us can be presenters at. And if you don't want to be a presenter or the presenter slots are filled, you can be a vendor. You need to get in front of the people who are your ideal client. There is a conference for everything, for every single thing. There are multiple conferences for everything, and be willing to travel. Some people think that if it ain't right 10 minutes down the road or within my city, I can't go. No, if you want to be great and you want to be sought after and you want people looking for you, you have to spread your greatness. So you got to show up at the conferences. You got to show up at the events. You got to be a speaker on stage. And many times all it takes is putting in an application, giving a pitch. It's easy to do a pitch. And then speaking events. Many of us are gifted with speaking. And so doing some public speaking, when people ask you to come and speak at the school, to come and speak at the church, to come do this event, go ahead and do it. You don't know who's going to be in that audience and how they will receive what it is that you gave, and how your name can be dropped in other rooms that you had no idea. So the first thing you got to do is notify your friends and family. You got to let your friends and family know what you do. So many times we'll say, and again, we're talking about using leverage to spread your greatness. So I know some people on here are thinking, my friends and family can't help me. They're not in education. That ain't what they do. That's not what I asked you to do. You need to notify your family and friends of what you do, because your family and friends know people who know people. It's not about whether or not they are in education. People know people. We're all only 6 degrees of separation from one another and the person that we're looking for. And so the question is, does your family even know what it is you do? Like, they see us in the position that we've always had. So my family saw me as the principal at Barbara Jordan. That's who they saw me as, because that's what I had been. They see me as a teacher because that's what I had been. People remember you the way they met you. When I'm with my husband, I'm Jimmy's wife. I don't even have a name. I'm Jimmy's wife, because they met me as Jimmy's wife and they relate to me as Jimmy's wife. And so they don't even think to themselves about what I do. When my name pops in their mind or when they're thinking about me, I am Jimmy's wife. With my family, I am the principal. With the people who knew me before my principalship, I am the teacher. I am the educator. So you have to let your family and friends know, hey, I'm serving teachers in a different way. I've now transitioned into full-time consulting, supporting teachers with classroom management and behavior support. Please share my information with anybody you might know and spread the word. That don't cost you a dime. That's a text message that you send to everybody in your phone, Now watch, some people send it just to a couple of people in their phone. And then we want to pick and choose who should get the information. See, that's because we're not confident in what we do. And we're scared that people are going to talk about us. We're wondering what they're going to say. What if the wrong person gets it? You did not say anything offensive. You didn't cuss nobody out. If the wrong person gets it, they the right person. So we got to be willing to spread our greatness by using leverage, which are the things that I'm sharing with you. You got to use your time and resources to reach more people. And you're going to do that through doing different events, by going to conferences, by being on podcasts, by sending out the newsletter, by doing the blogs, by participating in speaking events, by notifying your tribe. The question is, are you afraid to let people know? The question is, are you afraid to let people know? You got to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. Email your old colleagues at the school that you left. Email them and let them know you're doing something different. And then the last tip that I'll give you is be a connector. Be the person who connects other people to what they need. Why do you want to do that? Because again, you're spreading your greatness. So if I'm at an event and somebody's talking to me about something, and I know somebody who does that thing, I'm going to connect those two together to serve, to spread my greatness, to connect one person to another. Guess what? They're going to remember me because I helped them. I supported them. So I want us to know we're going to have to get out of our comfort zone. You can't want to remain and become. You cannot become and remain, period, point blank. So if you've decided, I want to do this consulting thing, or I'm doing this consulting thing, but I need to let people know. I need to get notoriety. I need people to know what I'm doing. I need people looking for me. I need to go to my email and it's people in there trying to set up appointments with me instead of me chasing down leads. I need to get text messages of people trying to connect me with other people. These are the things you need to do. These are the things that you need to do. So number 3, the key to being memorable. I'm going to talk about the key to being memorable. Now, some people are going to give you all of that stuff that don't really amount to nothing. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth about the key to being memorable. First of all, you got to be confident about your strengths. You got to know you know what you know. And nobody should be able to shake that from you. People going to try you. People are going to try you. Even in PD, they try me sometimes still to this day. Y'all know we teachers. And I get in front of them and somebody want to raise their hand to ask a question and they think they're going to catch me slipping them. You got to be willing. You got to know your strength. You got to be willing to put the stake in the ground and say, I'm the expert on this thing here. And being an expert doesn't mean that you know everything about it. That means that you know the piece that you need to know, and you know the inside, the outside. You can flip it, turn it, rub it down, and it's still going to be your thing that you know. So you got to know your strengths. And when somebody try to catch you slipping and ask you something about the thing that's in your strength, but it's on the other spectrum, you got to be strong enough, wise enough, and confident enough to say, oh my goodness, yeah, I'm not familiar with that portion. I stay strictly in this domain over here. That thing over there may be true, but I work over here in this domain. So you probably can Google that. So that's a part of knowing your strength, knowing when you're not in your strength and being willing to say it. You got to be willing to share your strength. You got to be willing to share it with other people. Then the next thing, as you're going into schools, as you are doing this consulting thing, meeting people out, you want to be remembered. You want to be memorable. And so you got to ask yourself, what's your thing? Here's the thing that I had to learn early on, okay? I had to learn this early on, and that's why I'm sharing it with you now, because I learned it in a different way. So people gonna give you a thing, whether you give yourself a thing or not. You see what I'm saying? That's just like when something happened, you can either tell your story or somebody else can tell your story. You get to decide. So what's your thing? You're gonna have a thing. Even if the teachers, the principals, whoever it is you work with, they're going to give you a thing if there is no thing that they can easily identify as your thing. So let me give you an example. And it doesn't have to be this minor, but I'm giving you this my real example. Like, I'm not making this up. So when I first started doing PDs and had to travel, so I travel as I do PDs, I'll dip into Fort Wayne, I'll dip into Schaumburg, I'll dip into Janesville, I'll dip into Chattanooga. You know, you do, you know, maybe a PD or 2 a week. I never did more than really 2 in a week. And so you got to pack. I only pack bags that I can check in. So I was very conscious of what I'm packing in the bag and making sure that items matched other items so that I wouldn't have to check a bag. Now, I must admit, I was also watching Scandal with Olivia Pope in all transparency. So she would wear that white and I loved it. And so I would wear white to my PD sessions. I would wear, a white blazer, some white pants, and a white tank. I'll put a belt on that's gold or green or purple, some purple accessories. So everything was white, and then I would accessorize with colors. Well, I might be in Schaumburg on Tuesday, and then on Thursday, I might be in Fort Wayne, and I'll wear that same blazer, white blazer, and then I just put on a white maxi dress. You see what I'm saying? Change my jewelry, looks like a totally different outfit. So I'm thinking I'm being strategic, right? Because now I can just pack 6 items, but it was enough clothes for like 4 or 5 days. And so I'm just being strategic. White was easy. Plus Olivia Pope had influenced me. And so I'm wearing the white. Well, little did I know I had become the lady who wore the white every time. So what would happen is the next week I'd be in a different school district, okay? And so obviously I'm coming home, I'm gonna wash those clothes, I'm gonna repack that bag, and I'm gonna wear some more white to my next event, which might be in Janesville and the other one might be in Melville. So I'm wearing white at every event. I had lots of white items and then lots of accessories in different colors. I became the lady who wears the white all the time. Oh yeah, the lady in the white. Oh yeah, the lady in the white. It's this other consultant who works with me, and she will wear stilettos. Like, I don't know how she was able to walk in them stilettos. I have no clue, because we would do PDs between 90 minutes and 180 minutes, and she would be in 6-inch stilettos the entire time. Well, of course, teachers were amazed by that, and they called her the lady with the stilettos. So you got to figure out what is your thing. Here lately, I'm the lady with the red lipstick, because I wear red lipstick every single day. And in the school system, red lipstick is equated to being a bad person. You one of them hoochie mamas if you got on red lipstick. So I wear that Boss Lady red from the lip bar, and I wear it with pride. And so they called me, the lady with the red lipstick, and they complimented it every time. Now yours may not be that minor, but what is your thing? You got to figure out what is your thing. When they're talking about what my thing is in my coaching and my consulting, clear, candid, and concise. Chanel is always clear, candid, and concise. There is never any confusion with Chanel. That's what my people will tell you. This is what they tell me when they send a referral to me, when the referral calls, and I say, oh yeah, how did you get my information? They'll say, oh, John referred me. And I'll say, oh my goodness, that is so awesome. I hope he has something awesome to say about me. And they'll say, oh yeah, he talks about how clear and concise you are, how you're able to drill right down to the problem and not waste our time. Every single time, that's what they always say. What is your thing? You have to know what is your thing. I know another consultant has a beautiful smile, always smiling. Everywhere she goes, she brings joy everywhere she goes. And that's what they relate. That's what they relate to her as. She's the lady who brings joy wherever she goes. So you got to think about what is your thing. It can be as minor as something that you wear to something as big as she always brings donuts or she's always smiling. You got to figure out what is your thing, because now we're talking about being memorable. And when we're talking about being memorable, that means that you're doing something or being something that will be remembered. We're standing out from the crowd. We're not doing the things that the crowd is doing. And so some people get it confused. They think that if they just fall in line and do what everybody else is doing, something great is going to happen to them. No, you're going to get the same thing everybody else is getting. So you got to put a concentrated effort into being memorable. This is not something that just happens. If you talk to anybody who is a memorable person, they will let you know they did some things to stand out. They did some stuff to stand out, and it was not by accident. The next thing is be easy to work with. Why do people remember me? Why do I stand out? Because I'm real easy to work with. There are some people who are really, really hard to work with. And let me just tell y'all the truth. Teachers are really, really hard to work with. And especially teachers who come out of the school system and become consultants because they are still thinking like teachers. I got this form I need him to fill out. I sent him that email and he didn't respond to that email. I need that form filled out. He haven't sent me the time I'm supposed to be at the thing. I asked for information on how many teachers they want in the session. You're not being easy to work with, ma'am. You have to understand your customer journey and understand the experience that you want your customer to have. Yeah, he didn't fill out your form because guess what? That form didn't mean nothing to him. That form ain't helping him. That form is helping you. Who told you to send him that form? So if you want something done, your job is to make it as easy as possible for them, be easy to work with. How can I support you? How can I help you to make your job easier? If I need a form filled out and I know I need the form filled out and I know that principal probably not going to fill that form out, why would I send it to him in email so he can ignore it? Don't fill it out. Wait until I get there, ask the questions myself, fill the form out myself. So you got to think about what is your customer journey? What is the experience that you want to get from that you want your customer to have? Because what are they going to say about you in the end? Your goal is to get noticed. You want them to notice you, and you also want them to notice when you are not there. This is the thing that you got to understand. Not only do they need to notice you, but you need to be noticed when you're not there. They should be looking for you. Oh, where the lady at that normally come? She ain't been here this year. Where is she at? See how that happens? So if you are not being noticed, nobody will notice when you're gone. If you are just coming in, doing your PD, leaving out the door, you're not going to be remembered. You're not going to stand out. They get 20, 30 PD consultants in the building every year. What are you doing to stand out? And just having a conversation does not make you stand out. This is the thing that we have to understand. That's the normal thing. If you want extraordinary results, you got to put in extraordinary effort. And so some people want great results with mediocre effort or average effort. And it does not work like that. If you want to be memorable, you need to plan to be memorable. And it's not through trying to crack jokes and all, because that's still not memorable. They will laugh at the joke in the PD. And then when they leave, that joke is over with. What will they remember about you? What will they notice? And what will they noticeably miss when you're not in the building? So I hope you're getting what I'm saying, because standing out and being the go-to ed consultant means that you've done some work. You've shown that you're an expert. You're sharing. People are noticing you, and now they are contacting you. And I see it every single day. I work with right now in my network over 60 consultants, and they are getting emails into their inboxes. They are getting LinkedIn messages. They are getting people who are referred from other people. So they are reaping the benefits, but they also had to understand that they were not the first to have to do this. And so they listened and they took heed to some of the things to do, because a lot of it is just knowing the right moves to make. See, because I'm no better than you. I'm no better than any of you. It's just that I made a different set of choices, a different set of decisions, and now I'm sharing those decisions with you so that you can decide whether or not that's going to work for you. Here is the problem, though. We will do these things. This is one of the problems that a couple of my consultants are experiencing right now. They have done the thing, and now they're sought after, but now they're not prepared for the amount of work that's coming into them. So you have to prepare for what you're expecting. What are you expecting? If you're expecting something, a lot of clients, people looking for you, if you're expecting to make over 6 figures in 2023, you got to plan for that. Like, you cannot wait until the last minute to plan for your success. You already know what it is that you want. The question is, are you willing to take action? Are you willing to do the things if you want to be sought after? Because I'm here to tell you, you don't have to always be chasing leads. You don't have to wonder where your money is coming from. You don't have to cry, beg, and crawl for a contract. All you have to do is prepare. The 3 tips I just gave you and the strategies that I just shared with you, you can put those in place right now while you're still in the school system. But you need to plan for explosive growth in your business because you don't want to wait to get ready. You want to be ready. You got to be clear about the strategies that you're going to employ. Just like what I just showed you, those 3 strategies. All you have to do is make a plan to implement them. What are you going to do on your social media? When are you going to send your messages out? Are you going to do a newsletter or a blog? Or what conferences are you going to apply for? What goal are you going to set for the number of presentations that you're going to give in 2023? How many stages will you be on? You got to first set the goal. And so these are actionable steps. All you have to do is put them into play, set dates around them, and do the work. You got a whole plan. That's what I mean about be clear about the strategies you're going to employ. If you know in 2023, 2024, whatever year you're coming out, you want to, I hope you want more than just to replace your income, because there is no use in going to do something different just to replace your income. You should want to double your income or triple your income or something, because your income right now, that's your floor. You're already at that. You will never make less than that again. At least you should not. But you got to, growth is, you got to get into growing and stop operating your business for today and start operating your business for 2023. You do that by building a network. So you got to have strategies. The question becomes, do you have a game plan? Do you go into the game with no plan? Did you watch the tapes? Do you know what's going to happen? So how do you prepare for 2023? And how do you prepare for the understanding that this is real data? I'm not making this up. the IRS gives this data, and the U.S. workforce gives this data, that woman-owned businesses, the average woman-owned business, now the average, remember what the average is, they take the lowest amount and the highest amount, and they take the number in the middle. That's what your average is. So the lowest is likely at 0, okay? And the highest is at probably close to $1 billion. And they're taking a number in the middle. The average woman-owned business makes $88,895 per year. Per year, that's the average. But if you identify as Black, African-American, the average Black-owned business for women makes $24,000 a year. Now, this is the average. Let me break this down for you, because I want you to understand, and this is why you can't just go into this stuff willy-nilly without a plan and without understanding what you're getting yourself into. If you already know that the average woman-owned business makes $88,000, that's the average. And if you're a Black-owned business, the average makes $24,000 a year, then you need to know that 43.7% of all woman-owned businesses, 43.7, make less than $10,000 a year. That's less than $10,000. You can't live on that. So we already know they're working another job. Then 80% are under $50,000 a year. But you just heard me say that the average is $88,000. That's what I want y'all to understand when y'all see something that say what the average is. 88% of all woman-owned businesses make under $100,000, 88%. So that means that's the crowd, folks. That's the crowd. That's why you cannot afford to be in that crowd. You got to be willing to stand out. You got to be willing to do something different. You got to be willing to be memorable. You got to be willing to leverage your greatness. You got to be willing to do something different, because this is the crowd. The crowd is the 88.1% who make less than $100,000 a year. Only 12% make over $100,000 a year. See, those are the people who stand out. Those are the people who take a stand. Those are the people who commit to excellence. Those are the people who deem that they're an expert and they move forward. Those are the people who are memorable. Those are the people who show up to serve. They make over $100,000 a year. Get this. Of that 12%, 6% make over $250,000 a year. 6%, I'm a part of that 6%. 6% make over $250,000 a year. You got to be willing to stand out. Only 1.9% of all woman-owned businesses in the United States of America, a measly 1.9%, make $1 million or more. 1.9%. I shall join them next year. So if you know that this data is here, why are we acting like we just gonna build this business? I'm gonna make $140,000 next year. I'm gonna make $250,000. They just told you that only 12% of all businesses woman-owned make over 100,000. 12%. So what are you going to do to be different? How are you going to set yourself apart? You need a plan. You need strategies. You need to build your network. You need to adopt a new mindset. You cannot go trying to make $100,000, $200,000 a year with a $50,000 mindset, with a $72,000 mindset, with a $48,000 mindset. And so I will tell you, I have a great event that you can attend if you so choose. I'm encouraging you not to become a part of this statistic. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to do Q&A in just a second. I just want to let you all know about this opportunity because I don't want you to wait until 2023 to put your plans in motion when I know that there are some people who plan to leave the school system in 2023. You got to determine how much you would like to see your business grow in 2023. You got to think about your income. If you want more impact, if you want more income, if you want more support, meaning, are you going to build a team to help you to be able to run your business? Are you going to become the CEO? Or are you just creating another job for yourself? And you want more opportunities. You want to come and join other educators and consultants who are doing the work, who can truly support you. And so that's what we do at the Millionaire Mindset retreat that's going to take place during President's Day weekend. And we're going to, it's real simple. We're going there. We're going to plan for 2023. We're going to plan for explosive growth in your business. You're going to set the vision that you have for your vision for 2023. And then from that vision, we're going to determine the 5 to 10 marketing strategies you need to employ so you don't have any second guessing. We're going to work out your finances, what the revenue that will be coming in, what it will be coming in from, how many packages you need to sell, how you can go about selling those packages, what needs to be paid. All of these things will be taken care of in the finance portion. Then we're going to talk about operations. How do you get the executive assistant? Do you need a virtual assistant? Do you need a personal assistant? Do you need to have some consultants on standby? You know, do you need a bookkeeper? Do you need a business manager? Do you need a tech support? Whatever it is that you have for the vision of your business, that's what we're going to do in the operations session. Then in revenue, we're going to talk about passive and active income. Ain't nobody coming with me that is not ready to have active and passive income, because I am not a believer in, if I don't show up, I don't eat. In consulting, in person, if you don't show up, you don't get a check. And so I am not a believer in that. I believe that you should have active income and passive income. And so we explore the paths that you can take to get passive income. And we put examples before you of the different pathways to passive income and share experiences from people who are bringing in passive income as consultants. And then last but not least, we cannot take you from your $50,000 mindset to a $200,000 mindset without up-leveling your self-care. And so what people do who are making 6 figures and more for self-care is a whole lot different than what people do who are, you know, making $50,000, $60,000 a year for self-care. There are 7 components to self-care. And so we go through those 7 components. We share different options that you can explore, and you put together an actual self-care plan. So the goal is for you to plan your profits through expert training. And then you're going to know which team members you need to hire first. You're going to put a plan around it. And then we're going to do things such as, what do I do to onboard my team members? Because you don't just hire people and put them to work. You got to train them. We're going to set your revenue goal and the strategies that it'll take to get you there. And so those are the things that we will do during this retreat, because we believe in forecasting and not regretting. We have a dream, we have a vision. Now we need to forecast and make decisions using tools that will help to determine your budget, your estimation, your future growth, the events you need to do, and all of those things. We're not going to see the video today. I was going to show you a video of my last event in case anybody was wondering whether or not we have fun. I want you to know fun is a part of everything that I do, because I believe that work should be fun as well, especially when we're working in our zone of genius. So if you are interested, if some action is required, you have to have a desire to increase your impact and your income. You got to be willing to stop being comfortable with the struggle. Some of us are committed to the struggle. And so you got to stop being comfortable with the struggle and stop chasing your tail, trying to do this by yourself without resources or strategies. You got to commit one weekend to your business without your kids, without your family, without the doorbell ringing, without the dogs needing you to give them attention, and all the things that happens in our household. You got to commit one full weekend to your business, and you got to say yes to your business and to your dreams. The retreat is all inclusive. You fly in, you book your flight, you fly in, we pick you up from the airport, take you to the gated community retreat. Everything is all inclusive. So once you pay for your ticket, you'll buy your airplane ticket and you'll purchase the ticket to the event. And everything is all inclusive. There are 9 restaurants there. You can eat at any of the restaurants. It's included in your price. All of your alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages are included. Your ticket to the event is included. You're going to have a beautiful garden suite or pool view suite at one of the resorts, either Secrets or Dreams. And you will have your curated sessions that you will do with me, as well as some other amazing folks who will come in and walk you through everything. When I say everything, those 5 buckets are the true 5 buckets of business. And we just secured today the IP attorney who will be showing up to tell you about what you need to plan for as far as trademarking and protecting your progress. So in the end, you'll leave with a year-long plan that's broken up into quarters that will help you to know exactly what you need to do. And you're just going to stop wasting time trying to figure this thing out on your own. And it's going to give you freedom, because you won't have that confusion. And it's going to stop you from jumping from program to program, paying for courses, not finishing them, getting different coaches. You're going to know exactly what it is that you need to do. And so I'll drop a link in the chat for you to check out the page for that. In addition, it's a couple of bonuses that go along with that. You'll get email templates. You'll get entry into the Facebook group. We do a couple of trainings in there. We've already done the how to increase your visibility and expert status. So you'll get the recording of that. We'll be doing the systems that will save your life in ed consulting in January. And then at the end of January, we're doing the Millionaire Mindset CEO 5-day challenge. And that is going to be absolutely amazing. Let me hurry up, because I know some people are ready for Q&A. Real quick, the pricing for double occupancy is $14.97. That will include your 3-night all-inclusive, February 17th through February 20th. That's in a shared room with another powerful educator, and you can do it in payments, 3 payments of $4.99 each. So you make a payment of $4.99, 30 days later, you make another payment of $4.99, 30 days later, you make another payment of $4.99. Or if you want a single room, you can do single occupancy is $19.47 with 3 payments of $6.49. So the link is in the chat. I also encourage you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and also check out my podcast on all streaming networks, Educators Moving On. It is a really great podcast. We've gotten rave reviews, and we need you to subscribe. We got to keep our numbers climbing. So please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. That would be much appreciated. And I know I give a lot, so I don't think it's asking a lot for you all to subscribe to the podcast, follow the podcast, because you know we need numbers in order to get it on the charts. And so we need to let more educators know about the Educators Moving On podcast. All right, so that's what I got for you this evening. I will take about 10 minutes to answer questions, because at 7:30, I have another session with my mastermind students. So do we have any questions? Any questions from the group. If you do, you can raise your hand on the at the bottom of the screen where it says reactions. Thank you, Natoya, for subscribing. I definitely appreciate it. Anybody have questions? A question that you have about the presentation tonight, about how to stand out, about how to be memorable? Anybody have any questions? You are so welcome, Selena. Thank you. All right, it doesn't look like there are any questions. I do want to thank you all for joining me tonight. This was my last series for this year. And so I wanted to make sure that I got information out to folks who are ready to move forward. I just want to encourage you to take the leap, take the leap. I know that you're scared, and I'm going to tell you, just do it scared. We all did it scared. I have not met a consultant yet or anybody who has done anything of significance who did not do it scared. So my advice to you is, if you have that tingle in your spirit, that urging, that nudging, that thing that you know you need to do is steady pulling at you, there is somebody waiting to receive the blessing that you have. There is somebody who is waiting for you to step into your gifting so that you can solve their problem. And so a lot of times we let the fear hold us back. I encourage you to just do it scared. I promise you, I did. So that's my message for you all tonight. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to the podcast, and I will see you in these consultant streets. You all have a great rest of your day.